A man's thoughts after intimacy often reveal his true intentions because that quiet moment after the act strips away every layer of performance. Before that, it's easy for anybody to say the right thing. Words can be sweet, promises can sound real, and actions can look convincing when desire is in the driver's seat. But when the moment fades and the excitement settles, that's when the truth steps forward. You'll see it in how he behaves, not in what he says. Does he reach out the next day? Does he show care, interest, consistency? Or does he pull back, suddenly busy, suddenly unsure, suddenly distant? That space right there between what happened and what happens next tells you everything you need to know about his heart. If a man values you, that moment won't make him vanish. It'll make him more present, more intentional, more protective of what you share. But if his intentions were shallow, if he was only chasing the thrill, the silence after will feel louder than any words he ever spoke. See, intimacy doesn't change a man's character. It exposes it. It doesn't make him better or worse. It just reveals what was already inside him. That's why you can't use intimacy as a test of love. Love doesn't prove itself in a night. It proves itself in time. The man who truly cares won't see that moment as a finish line. He'll see it as the start of something deeper. But the one who doesn't will see it as the end of the chase. So pay attention to what happens after, because that's when clarity shows up. His behavior after tells you who he really is, and your response to it tells you how much you truly value yourself. Physical connection does not always equal emotional commitment. And that's where a lot of people get their hearts broken. See, just because two bodies came together doesn't mean two souls did. Intimacy might make you feel close, but feelings in the heat of the moment can lie. What's real shows up in consistency, in care, in the effort that follows long after the moment has passed. Man can hold you, touch you, even whisper things that sound like love. But if his actions don't match those words when the sun comes up, that wasn't love. It was emotion. It was attraction. It was temporary connection dressed up like something permanent. Too many people confuse chemistry for commitment. Chemistry is easy. It's natural. It's electric. It's exciting. But commitment, that's work. That's a choice someone makes every single day to show up, even when the feeling fades. The physical side of a relationship might bring two people together, but it can't hold them there. What holds people together is respect, understanding, shared values, and the willingness to stay even when the spark flickers. And ladies, this is where you've got to protect your peace. You can't build a foundation on emotions alone. You've got to ask yourself, what's holding this together when the physical moment ends? Because if the only glue is attraction, it's going to fall apart the moment real life hits. The truth is, love without emotional depth is just an illusion. It looks like connection, but it's hollow. So don't mistake closeness for commitment. Let his actions, not his passion, tell you what's real. When a man is truly invested, you won't have to wonder where you stand. He'll show up not just in your bed, but in your life. A woman's value should never be measured by what she gives, but by who she is. That's one truth too many. People forget in a world that keeps trying to make worth something you earn instead of something you already have. See, you don't become valuable when someone notices you. You're valuable because you exist, because you bring something to the table that no one else can. Your heart, your strength, your peace, your presence. But somewhere along the way, society started telling women that their value is tied to how much they give, how much love they pour out, how much they sacrifice, how much of themselves they hand over, trying to prove they're enough. Here's the truth. Giving doesn't make you worthy. You give because it's your nature, not because it earns you love. Real love doesn't ask you to shrink, to compromise your peace, or to trade your standards just to keep somebody around. The right person will recognize your value before you even give a thing. They'll see it in how you carry yourself, in how you speak, in the quiet confidence that says, I know who I am. And let's be real. If someone only sees your worth when you're giving them something, they were never looking at you. They were looking at what they could take. That's why you've got to guard your heart with wisdom. You are not a reward for good behavior. You're not a prize that needs to be won. You're a partner with purpose, and the right man will understand that. So stop trying to earn what you already have. Stand firm in your value and let people rise to your standard. Because when you know your worth, you won't chase love. You'll attract respect. And that's the kind of love that lasts, Real men think long term, boys think in moments. That's the difference that separates maturity from impulse, purpose from pleasure, and love from lust. A boy lives for the thrill of now. He wants what feels good, what looks good, what's easy, but a real man looks beyond the moment. He's not just asking, what do I want tonight? He's asking, what kind of future am I building? Who am I becoming? Who's standing beside me when the dust settles? See, a boy's vision stops at the weekend, but a man's vision stretches into legacy. A real man understands that every choice carries a consequence. He doesn't move based on mood. He moves based on meaning. He knows that every woman he entertains, every promise he makes, every line he crosses, those things shape his character. So when he's with a woman, he's not just thinking about the moment, he's thinking about the impact. Because a man who knows his worth won't risk it on temporary pleasure. He values peace over excitement, purpose over passion, consistency over chaos. Now, here's where it gets real. Some men never make that shift. They get older, but they don't grow up. They keep chasing moments because it's easier than building something that lasts. But a man who's done with games, who's focused, grounded, and ready, he moves different. He communicates different. He loves different. He's not running from commitment. He's running toward it. And ladies, when you meet that kind of man, you'll feel the difference. You won't have to question his intentions or decode his silence. His consistency will speak louder than any promise. Because when a man thinks long term, he's not trying to impress you. He's trying to include you. And that's the kind of thinking that turns moments into meaning and attraction into forever. Understanding your worth changes the way people treat you. Because the moment you recognize your own value, you start teaching others how to handle you. See, people can only treat you at the level you believe you deserve. If you walk around thinking you're replaceable, that's exactly how they'll act. But when you carry yourself like someone who knows their value, who doesn't settle for half effort or half love, you send a message without saying a word. Confidence, quiet, grounded confidence, changes everything. It tells people you can't play with me, you can't use me, you can't keep me guessing. The truth is nobody is going to hand you respect. You've got to set the standard. And once you set it, you have to keep it. Because the moment you bend your boundaries for the wrong person, you show them that your lines are negotiable. But when you stand firm, when you're willing to walk away from what doesn't honor you, that's when real respect shows up. That's when people stop testing you and start valuing you. Now, understanding your worth isn't about arrogance or pride. It's about peace. It's about knowing that you are not desperate, you are not lacking, and you are not defined by someone's inability to see your light. You are whole all by yourself. The right people won't be intimidated by your strength. They'll be drawn to it. They'll treat you with care because they see how you treat yourself. So stop waiting for someone to tell you what you're worth. Decide it for yourself. Walk like you belong in every room you enter. Speak like your words matter. Love yourself so loudly that others have no choice but to listen. Because when you know your worth, you stop chasing validation and start commanding respect. When you listen deeply to others and to yourself, you unlock wisdom. Most people hear, but they don't listen. They catch words, not meaning, but when you slow down, quiet your mind and truly pay attention, something powerful happens. Understanding begins. Listen is more than sound. It's connection. It's reading between the lines, feeling what isn't being said, and allowing truth to reach you without your ego getting in the way. That's where real wisdom lives, in the silence between the noise. Listening to others takes patience and humility. It's easy to interrupt, to judge, to wait for your turn to talk. But when you really listen, you show respect. You make space for another person's truth. You give them the gift of being seen and heard. Sometimes that's all people need. Not advice, not correction, just someone willing to hear them out without rushing to respond. That kind of listening builds bridges, heals misunderstandings, and deepens every relationship in your life. And listening to yourself, that's just as important. Deep down, you already know what's right for you. Your instincts, your spirit, your gut, they whisper wisdom all the time. But too often you drown it out with fear, noise, and everyone else's opinions. You scroll, you compare, you chase, and in the process, you stop hearing you. But when you take time to be still, to reflect, to trust that quiet voice inside, that's when direction comes. Wisdom doesn't shout, it whispers. It speaks in patterns, in peace, in that tug on your heart that says, this is it or this isn't for you. Listening deeply means honoring that voice, even when it's uncomfortable, because every answer you're looking for, every next step, every truth is already trying to reach you. You just have to listen.